Victor 7140 is 50.
Officer Jim Ritter is on the lookout. He's patrolling downtown Seattle, watching for anyone who might need a visit from the authorities.
Hey guys.
He spots his next target, and then he closes in.
Hey, I've never seen nothing like this but on the Andy Griffin show.
It's an eye catcher.
Want to start a community dialogue?
Awesome, man. I mean, just plain awesome.
Come on over.
Pull up in a 1970 Plymouth Satellite and lighten the mood.
I used to run from this car.
Police often try to avoid drawing a crowd.
Got it.
When Ritter hits the streets, that's the whole point.
I don't get this kind of attention when I'm in my Crown Victoria.
Police departments are testing all kinds of ways to build bonds with their communities, from social media to neighborhood forums.
1970.
No.
Yep.
But maybe they're overthinking it.
You want a picture of me being handcuffed?
Maybe what gets people to talk to a cop
How's it going today?
is a selfie with something they've only seen in a movie.
I mean, look at the condition of this car. You know, the original rims, the original tires.
This is the top right here.
If they think this is impressive, they should check out where that relic came from. There's a lot more in an unexpected place.
I'm gonna go ahead and turn the air on.
The nonprofit Seattle Metropolitan Police Museum works on its collection of vintage vehicles in Ellensburg, about a 2-hour drive from downtown Seattle. The climate here is dry and the property's cheap, just right for amassing a collection of 25 hard-to-find cruisers. Everything from a 1949 Ford State Patrol car
It is the only known one in existence.
to the type of Mustang Marlon Workman drove during his 38 years in the State Patrol.
It made going to work a lot of fun.
He's one of the volunteers who gathers on weekends to chip away decades of neglect and restore honor to these icons of police past. Pretty much everyone who helps out here has deep ties to law enforcement.
Voila.
He died in the line of duty. He's a Seattle police officer.
Wayne Gilbert's great-great-grandfather was killed during a Prohibition-era shootout. Dyslexia prevented Gilbert's from joining the force.
Getting it all wired up.
This is his connection to history.
I have this ability to tinker and make things happen.
They have more wheels than they can possibly work on right now.
They all need TLC.
It's hard to say no when another dusty gem turns up in a cornfield somewhere.
We actually could probably build another warehouse because we've got enough cars to justify it.
No public dollars are spent on these projects. Everything is done through donations.
They are a real community policing tool.
Sometimes Ritter will just take the satellite for a spin around town when the weather's nice. And though he occasionally hears things like this,
I don't like policemen.
that guy's an exception.
Thank you for what you do, by the way.
I appreciate that. Thank you.
I'm behind him 100%.
God bless all of you. Thank you.
It's a classic conversation starter.
Beijing, huh? Your first time to Seattle? From where? From Brooklyn. Puerto Rico. Wow.
Australia.
Australia. Oh, Palestine. Wow. You're a long ways from home.
That's cool, man.
A kind of distraction the community can gather around.
Don't be shy. It's okay.
A reason to talk.
There we go. You betcha.
Ted Lamb,
All right.
King 5 News.
Have a good day.
Welcome to my kitchen. Why am I here? Well, one of the King 5 assignment editors recently approached me with a story idea for Home Team Harvest. She asked me, do you think you can live off a food stamp budget for a few days or maybe even a week? Sure, I love cooking. I like saving money. Then I started doing a little bit of research and I learned just how little I'd be working with.
The average household enrolled in Washington's food assistance program receives between about $4.90 and $6.50 a day. Note that word household, which usually includes more than one person and often kids. Northwest Harvest, the state's leading hunger relief agency, says adults who are on food stamps should plan to shop with about $4 a day.
So I'm going to use a strategy that's probably familiar to a lot of people who use food stamps. I'm going to take that very little bit of money to buy some ingredients that you cannot get at the food bank that will go well with things I already have in my pantry.
Here's what I bought: chicken drumsticks, rice, some produce, lentils, and frozen green beans. I'm going to make multiple meals out of these ingredients, and we'll see how much each serving costs. I bought an acorn squash because it's in season, about $1.25 for this. Slice it up, toss with vegetable oil, salt, and pepper, and drop that in an oven-safe pan with the chicken. Crank up the oven to 450 and roast for about 30 minutes or so. Later, I'll glaze that chicken with a simple mix of honey and mustard. Food stamps really aren't stamps. They got rid of those years ago. Now you get a debit card, which is preloaded with money at the start of the month. You can only use it for food at a grocery, convenience store, or farmer's market. The program that doles out these dollars in Washington is called Basic Food, and in recent years it's been giving out less and less to families in need.
People talk about the need to cut
this program, but it's already been cut several times in the last few years. In 2013, everybody who receives basic food assistance saw about a 11 to 13% cut in their assistance.
As a result, recipients often end up buying cheap, processed foods loaded with sodium, sugar, and fat.
It's not the choice that they want to make, but it's the choice that they feel that they're forced to make.
In order to cook a wholesome meal, really the only option for many families is to visit their food bank, where they can pick up some extra items and plan a menu around that. I'm looking for ingredients that will go a long way.
Part of Eastern Washington is known as the land of lentils. Yet another reason to love these. They taste great, they're filling, and they're cheap. This only cost $1.60, and for this next recipe, we're only using that much.
This dish mixes cooked lentils with onion, jalapeno, and some spices from the cupboard. Serve it over rice for a filling lunch.
All right, let's eat. My dinner ended up costing me about $2. That's for 2 chicken drumsticks, half an acorn squash, and about a cup of green beans. The lentils, they came out to about $1 per serving. Breakfast will probably be oatmeal and a banana, perhaps a few eggs. Eating like this really forces you to go to the store and look for foods that you can eat as opposed to what you want to eat.
You burn through your funds quickly, and without some other help, you'd be pretty hungry.
So we're gonna do some sea salt now.
Joe Conniff once hustled heroin on the streets of Seattle.
We source all of our stuff locally, as fresh as possible.
Today, he's dealing a different substance at the business he just started.
Very small batch.
Washington's finest, organically grown kale is seasoned, dried, packed into boxes, and sold at local farmers markets under the label Kale Love.
This time last year was a really different story for me.
This green is helping fuel Conniff's comeback after a long struggle with drugs, a failed career in the Navy, and eventually homelessness.
You know, I can actually sleep at night, and that's something I wasn't able to do for a long time.
So, how did he get off these streets? Jail.
King County has a unique program, one of only a handful nationwide, that treats veteran inmates like Conniff differently than the others. Vets are kept together in the same unit and attend classes that help them manage stress, overcome PTSD, and set personal goals.
My trust, it was completely gone.
Conniff's girlfriend, Robin Thompson, had almost given up on him in early 2015. She snapped this photo of Joe and their daughter Ione on one of their rare downtown encounters. Conniff's smile masked some serious problems. He was spending most nights sleeping on a stone stoop, a cold, hard rock bottom in a dim alley.
I would just be stopped at a light and see him. And it was like, and sometimes I had my daughter with us, you know, and it was really hard.
Not long after that, Conniff tried to deal heroin with an undercover cop and landed here at the Norm Mailing Regional Justice Center in Kent.
I don't know where I'd be without it.
Conniff used to work as an ordnance technician aboard the USS Harry Truman aircraft carrier. He went on 2 6-month tours of duty, but torpedoed his Navy career in 2005 when he tested positive for cocaine. He drifted, eventually to the streets, and then to jail.
We're finding more and more veterans coming into the jail system in King County.
Councilmember Reagan Dunn helped start the Veterans Program in 2014. Since then, it's assisted more than 50 incarcerated vets and helped them transition back into the community.
They have common training, they have common experience, there's camaraderie.
There's a daily debrief where inmates discuss PTSD triggers. The program also connects vets with case managers who know how to navigate the VA and can get inmates into addiction treatment. And then there's this. For Conniff, the most beneficial parts of the program were the weekly yoga and meditation classes.
Bring your rib cage for me.
The techniques helped him focus on his priorities as he left jail and transitioned to a veterans program at a Salvation Army shelter. Now he's training to become a yoga instructor.
That's good.
We're about ready to get started.
What's happening? Good to see you.
Alumni.
In September, Conniff checked another accomplishment off his list.
Today's the day, finally.
After so many missteps.
Are you okay?
A victory.
Okay.
All right.
He graduated from King County Drug Court, a program that prioritizes treatment over incarceration. Proud family members packed the courtroom.
God, I put you guys through so much crap, and to have you guys here today at this is pretty incredible.
1, 2, 3.
According to stats, the King County approach is working. That red bar represents incarcerated veterans who don't participate in the program and who end up back in custody after they leave jail. Now look what happens when a vet participates in the program. The figure drops substantially. Only 14% of them end up in custody again.
We think it's a very good program and a model for what we should be doing around the United States.
Dismiss.
There are a lot of re's in Conniff's life now.
Nice.
He's reintroducing himself as someone who wants to do the right thing.
The pain was just too great. Like, I couldn't do it anymore.
He's rebuilding relationships with his family, especially 5-year-old Ione.
I'm in the zone, in the kale zone.
And he's redefining the expectations for a former homeless heroin addict.
Almost done. I'm getting there.
Who now pushes healthy habits.
Seems to be living the better part of a dream a little bit right now.
Behemoths of global trade glide into Elliott Bay, stacked with all the stuff we need or want. Chances are something within arm's reach arrived in one of these boxes. The hulking visitors are essential to our lives. And yet, those who help deliver it all get so little attention. Does anyone notice them?
So they have this tremendous sense of isolation.
This group sees the seafarers.
Of being alone.
1 razor per bag, 1 pack of cards per bag.
In the run-up to the holidays, volunteers gather at St. John the Baptist Church in West Seattle. It's a tradition.
Thanks for coming.
Grab one of those hand-sewn bags
1 razor
and stuff it with a few essentials.
These are sewn with love.
Top it off with a knitted hat, and don't forget to include a greeting card.
We are the face of Seattle.
Ken Hawkins runs the Mission to Seafarers, an organization that looks out for the thousands of foreign ship crew members who shuttle between the continents in cramped, Spartan quarters and dock for a few hours in an unfamiliar place, far from home.
We ask seafarers why they do what they do. Number one reason is always, I want to send my kids to better schools. I'm saving money from a house. I'm trying to take care of my family, my parents.
Visa rules often prevent foreign crew members from leaving their ships. They spend weeks at sea only to dock here and find that they're not allowed to step foot off their vessels to shop or just stretch their legs.
So the Mission to Seafarers comes to them. Reverend Earl Grout and Hillary Zedlitz are making one of their daily ship calls. He's retired from the Navy. She's a 23-year-old volunteer from Arkansas. They're heading to a ship that just arrived after a 3-week voyage from China. Grout and Zedlitz step on board to see if there's anything they can do to make the crew's brief visit more comfortable. They bring bundles of magazines, newspapers, and SIM cards so crew members can call home. During warmer months, they stock the ship's kitchen with fresh produce grown in the Mission to Seafarers garden. But this is what the workers look forward to most. Those gift bags from the church. Thank you very much. For the crew of 20, mostly Filipinos, this visit is a welcome break from the monotony.
Merry Christmas. Merry Christmas.
At the Mission to Seafarers Center, tucked beneath the West Seattle Bridge, crew members who get shore leave can Skype with their families.
We have had a few fathers who have seen their kids for the first time.
This is what the Lord's work is about.
Though this is a Christian mission, these bags will go to crew members of many backgrounds and beliefs. The Mission to Seafarers helps all.
Nobody ever thinks of these people, so this is a nice way to say thank you to those people that we don't really know.
Before they finish their work, the volunteers pause for an old Navy hymn, Eternal Father, Strong to Save. It was written for those who leave so much behind and venture into the oceans, soon to be a speck on the horizon, invisible to all but a few. Ted Land, King 5 News.